Hello, I'm North Hempstead Town Supervisor Jennifer DeSena, and welcome to Clark Botanic Garden. A beautiful 12-acre oasis located here in Albertson, this botanical garden has been blooming for over 50 years. Founded in 1969, the garden is dedicated to understanding and appreciating the world's plant life through horticulture, education, and research. The garden has an interesting and little-known history, starting as the private estate of Grenville Clark and his wife Fanny Dwight Clark. Mrs. Clark worked hard to transform this sandy 10 acres of scrub and grass into a garden showplace. After Mrs. Clark's passing and the threat of residential development, Mr. Clark made the gift of his home to become the Fanny Dwight Clark Memorial Garden of the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, which later became Clark Botanic Garden. While I certainly hope you enjoyed this virtual tour of some of the park's highlights, I encourage all residents to come and visit this beautiful park in person soon. It's a truly special experience to be surrounded by so many natural marvels. But don't take my word for it. Come and visit and see for yourself.
Hello and welcome. I'm Bonnie Klein, the horticulturist for the town of North Hempstead, and we are here today at the Clark Botanic Garden for a wonderful tour. So we are currently standing right in front of our tulips. There's over 5,000 tulips in this display. We have displays throughout the Clark Botanic Garden. After these tulips are finished blooming, we take them out, we plant them throughout the town, and we replant this space with tropical gardens to make it look like a paradise. We are currently in our lilac walk, which they're almost all going to bloom. Right in front of me is Syringa vulgaris, and this is Grandma's Purple. And it's not only beautiful to look at, the scent is outstanding. So we are in front of a Cercis canadensis. That's a Canadian redbud, and this tree is native to Long Island. It's a great understory tree. They use it as street trees in some areas. The flowers bloom first along all of the branches. After the flowers are finished and they wane, the leaves will come out, and the leaves are heart-shaped leaves. And this tree just does very well here and on streets, and it's just a great addition to anybody's garden. This is the largest tree at the Clark Botanic Garden. It's a northern red oak, or Quercus rubra, and it is most talked about when we go on all our tours. Everybody asks how old this tree is. We don't know for sure how old it is, but it's anywhere between maybe 75 to 100, maybe over 100 years old, and it just provides so much shade. It's native to the Northeast. It's an amazing tree. Please come and see it. We are by the upper pond, and I'm standing in front of our alpine rock garden. And in this garden, we have lots of dwarf conifers. We have lots of plants that like alpine conditions, a lot of annuals, perennials, and other trees. As you can see, beautiful ones in back of me. And we just cleaned it all up, and we're going to be planting lots more plants throughout this season. At Clark, we have a rather large pond system. It's just under an acre. There are 3 larger ponds, the upper, middle, and lower pond, and then stream beds that connect the ponds to each other. A lot of wildlife just live around the ponds. We have turtles, we have ducks, we have koi, along with all other life within the ponds. We're in front of our pollinator garden, and at the pollinator garden we have plants for butterflies, bees, wasps. All pollinators play an important role in our environment. We are in a monarch way station as well, so we tag the monarchs. We send the information to be tracked to make sure that they got to their home in Mexico. So this area right here has shrubs, trees, and we add perennials and annuals in the season for all of our pollinators. At our garden, we have hundreds of hydrangeas in all different species and cultivars. In back of me is a hydrangea macrophylla. This is the one that most homeowners prune down in the spring, and they want to know why they don't have blooms. That's because these grow their flower buds in the fall, so they grow flowers from last year's growth. So do not prune them in the spring or you won't have any flowers. I'm standing on the bridge of our rain garden. This rain garden was built 7 years ago. I was here, helped dig and built this garden. It's all native plants, and most of the plants, I'd say all of the plants in this garden, were chosen because of the root systems. Root systems of these plants grow nice and deep to absorb water, and rain gardens are constructed to have the water go where it's supposed to go. It used to be a huge puddle in this area, and now the water is absorbed by all these beautiful native plants, and we don't ever have to water this garden at all. This is our moonlight garden. This was designed 3 years ago by Michael Varaka. He was a professor over at Farmingdale State College, and it was planted by my staff and myself at Clark Botanic Garden. And this moonlight garden has plants that have shimmering leaves, silver, flowers that are white, and they shine in the moonlight. And it's intended for people to see that shimmering and shining as they're looking out from the house. And this is our winter garden. Camellia japonica does very well in this area. It's a little microclimate. I don't know if many of you know, but Camellia japonica is what tea is made from, the original black English tea. But this whole space has been used for weddings and other little occasions. Thank you for joining us on this mini tour of the Clark Botanic Garden. Our hours currently April through October, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's seasonal. In the winter, we're open till 4 p.m. So please come visit and make sure you say hello to Bonnie. Thank you.